a Swiss auto component company Oerlikon, which mainly focuses on niche segments like supercars and golf cars and electric vehicles, which do not have much scope in India. They have been here for quite some time. What has been the process? What has been the strategy? How they have been able to leverage Indian capability? To talk about this, we have here with us Mr. Sandeep Khullar, Director Sales and Marketing. Welcome to ETAuto.
Thank you.
So as I just mentioned, the product portfolio where you operate in India, in local market, you do not have much of a scope. We do not have much of Aston Martins and other supercars whom you supply transmission and other parts. We do not have a big electric vehicle market as well. In such a scenario, what was the idea behind coming to India? You have made a huge investment as well. And what was the idea in coming into market where it is not there? The market for that kind of product is not there, and how are you leveraging it?
Sure. Basically, our biggest presence is in the agricultural market, and that is why we came to India. So we are one of the leading manufacturer of agricultural products, synchronizers, transmission gears and shaft. And we started our journey with agricultural products. So we are more than 20 years in India now. And we have been very successful with supplying to all the major agricultural players in India, whether it is Case New Holland, right, and construction equipment. We supply to CNH, JCB, John Deere. And then based on our strength and manufacturing capabilities, we have 3 manufacturing plants in India, Greater Noida, Belgaum, and now we have set up a plant in Sanand. Leveraging on our strength on manufacturing capabilities and design capabilities and the frugal engineering that we have now taken a path to go into diversify into emerging technologies like electric vehicles. And for last almost 10 years, we are sole suppliers for transaxles for the world's #1 golf cart manufacturers, Club Car. We manufacture this in India and we export to Club Car in North America.
What percentage of your revenue comes from export? Because looking at, apart from construction and this farm equipment sector, you do not have much play in local market. So I think you have a largest revenue coming from exports.
Yeah. Almost more than 55% of our revenue comes from exports and about 45% domestic. And this includes some of sales that we do to our group companies overseas. But at the same time, using our India manufacturing footprint, we support global customers, customers who are outside India. And we have been very successful, delivering zero defect and at a very optimum cost structure. So that's the reason we have been successful in exporting almost more than 55% of our product. And now, gaining traction, we are going to be major suppliers to all the electric vehicle manufacturers in the globe.
So in India, if we talk about, you have been in India for quite some time now, you understand the nitty-gritty and you understand the price, becomes very important for countries like India. When it comes to electric vehicle, have you found out some solution, low-cost solution to produce electric vehicle? Probably expand into diversify into new products that will help bring in electric vehicles in India?
Yeah, we are supporting. Based on the knowledge that we have gained working with the global major OEMs, we can support the initiative of electric vehicles in India. We have in our product portfolio electric transmission that can support all the global requirements for in terms of torque requirement, in terms of the reliability. So we can support any Indian OEM who wants to graduate into electric vehicles. We can support with the transmission, we can support with the gear, and we have the capability right from designing, manufacturing and validating of the transmission.
So do you expect the market to mature in domestic market, and how do you look at your contribution in coming few years?
Eventually, if you see, every country and especially India is focusing on, emission control, emission norms. So if we want to protect our environment, it is going to be the future. I mean, obviously it will take some time to create the infrastructure to support penetration of electric vehicles in India. But eventually, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, this is going to be the major contributor of passenger vehicle. So we can support, and we also, another product, we have low floor. I mean, we have axles and full support system for low floor city buses. I mean, the buses that run in let's say Shanghai or smart cities. So that is also one of the products that we can support as a group, as Oerlikon, and that's going to be our focus.
You have recently made an investment in Gujarat plant. How are you going to leverage that plant? What is the strategy behind it? And do you look for further expansion in India? What kind of growth you look at?
I mean, we have been very fortunate. We have grown last year on third-party sales. We have grown more than 23%. Although some of the markets were not so helpful, but still, because of our exports contribution, we have grown 23% in last financial year, calendar year, I would say. And this year we are targeting another growth of 20%. So the growth, we are banking on our manufacturing facility that we have in Sanand, Gujarat. We have bought almost about 35 acres of land there, and we are currently utilizing only about 20% of that space. So we have a growth of more than 80% growth is possible in that plant, and we are leveraging. We started with first phase in 2014. We have completed second phase now. We are starting production out of second phase, and we have a plan to do this ramp up in 6 phases in next 5 years. So that's going to support our manufacturing footprints going forward.
How do you look at your revenue going?
We have done almost about this last financial year, if we say in India, 2016-17, we are targeting to close the year more than 1,000 crores of overall sales, and even third-party sales of almost about 640 crore. And our target is to double these sales in next 5 years. So we are targeting by 2021 we will double our sales from India, and India plays a very significant role in overall scheme of things for Oerlikon Drive system.
Okay, so do you look at hiring also? How many engineers you are planning to hire? Do you look at India as also engineering hub, because a lot of foreign companies are trying to build base here? Is Oerlikon also considered?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Actually, we have started our design center in India last year, and we are growing. We want to have a full-fledged independent design and testing capability. So we are setting up this facility in Sanand in Gujarat, where we will have an integrated facility of design center and testing and validation center. And this will not only, initially it will support our developments in India, but eventually the plan is we will support from this design and testing center even some of our global facilities from India.
First question, how do you look at your exports contribution to your total revenue?
Sure. So, I mean, looking at our pipeline of projects that we are working on, we are hopeful that we will continue to be more than 55 to 60% of our total revenue would be contributed by exports, because we prove to be very competitive in the global environment, and when we compete with the global majors, because of our footprints in India, we are very competitive. So we continue to maintain in the excess of 55 to 60% of
so if
sales
we talk about
India.
your plants in Europe and India, what kind of a difference you have in terms of investment versus production? Suppose you produce one electric transmission in Europe and same transmission is produced here in India. What will be the cost difference?
It will certainly depend on product to product, but on
average.
On an average, you could expect to get a benefit of about 15% for sure. I mean, if we have because of the frugal engineering and manufacturing footprint that we have seen in our other products that we manufacture in India, you can expect to get a benefit of about around 15. Then again, it will depend on product to product and contribution of electrical, electronics and mechanical components, but a ballpark number would be about 15%. Yeah, sure.